Paul Farbrace, I guess your assessment of the 3 and a bit days up here.
Well, we lost the game in the first day. I said to you at the end of the first day that 266 was never enough on that pitch. It was a 400 plus pitch. It was a good pitch, and we've been taught a cricketing lesson by the best team in our division. You get runs first innings, you can control the game. And at 100 for none at lunchtime on the first innings, we were in a good position and we'd fought and scrapped. And then unfortunately, the hour straight after lunch on the first day is what cost us, and we gave away 4 sloppy wickets. They gained momentum and have not lost that momentum for the rest of the game, and they've gone on to obviously score a big score in the first innings and played exceptionally well, and you're out the game then. Scoreboard pressure changes completely. So 250 for 5 before they had their partnership between the leader and Clark, that if we get 400, 420 at that point, then that's a very different scoreboard pressure on them. So look, they're the best team in the division. They played the best cricket throughout this game. We showed some fight and character in terms of how we've played on days 2 and 3. I think we didn't chuck the towel in, which I wouldn't expect us to, but we didn't chuck the towel in. We kept going, and we actually got stuck in and bowled half decently. Unfortunately, we shelled too many chances. We missed some good opportunities, certainly 4, and then that makes it hard for you. So look, we haven't played well enough. We're learning a lot about ourselves as a team, and unfortunately we just haven't got the experience on the field when you get into tough situations to deal with those tough situations, and that's quite, that's a big problem for us.
You've spoken a lot this season about getting into positions and being able to win games, and I guess again you talk about 110 without loss. What can you do, Paul? Is it a mindset thing to really capitalise when you get those good situations? Yeah,
it is, and we've got a lot of players who don't know how to win. That's our biggest problem, is that we have too many players in our team who don't know how to win. Therefore, they don't expect to win when they get in those tough situations. And you play against the Durham team, as I say, they're the best team in this division. They deserve to be in Division 1. And when they got in positions where they could really capitalise, they knew exactly how to do it. And we played against a lot of teams this year. You look at them and they are strong teams. They've got a lot of experienced cricketers, and it's all very well having a team of, and we're a team of potential, but that with potential means that we don't have experience. It means that we don't have a great deal of leadership, and we on the field, and we don't have a great deal of understanding how to win games. And that's fundamentally is our issue, and you can't suddenly change that. What we can do in the winter is make sure that we recruit well. We need to recruit probably 2 or 3 players who can come straight into our side with great experience, who know how to win, know how to compete, and can help our best youngsters. What we've got to do is we've got to work out who are our youngsters we're really backing and keep them in the team, and then have packed around them 3-4 experienced players who can, in tough situations, can help them understand how to play that particular phase of the game. I mean, one of the phrases that this dressing room will be fed up with me talking about is understanding what the game needs to me at this particular time. And unfortunately, we haven't got enough players who understand what it needs from them at that particular time. They get out at the wrong times. We lost wickets to the new ball, having fought so hard. The new ball then came into the game, and we lost wickets straight away in the first over to the new ball. Bloke in, 50 not out, gets out, with a wild slash outside off stump, rather than seeing that new ball through and getting 10 overs through of that. And so they're the times in games where we just don't recognise what's needed, and we play the same game every day without learning. We don't experience it. But we've got a lot of people who've played 15, 20 games in their career in Championship cricket, and so therefore it's no surprise that when they get under pressure, and a senior team like Durham really put them under pressure, they don't know how to cope with it.
So is it a reality, Paul, that laudable though it has over the last 2 or 3 years, it's sort of gone down the path of youth and trying to encourage the youngsters, that actually the reality is that you do need experienced players, and that policy was perhaps slightly flawed?
Well, I can't talk about what's gone before. I said right from the very start that I had to talk about winning and changing a mentality, and I still think winning has to be the right mentality. It has to be the right way to talk, right? You can't talk about, hoping to compete or hanging in there. But what we have got to do is have people around the young players, and they are some very talented young players, but what we've got to have around them is people who've got experience, who've got warts and all, who've been through the fights, through the scraps, and they understand what it needs to win games of cricket. And as I say, we just haven't got enough players in our squad. And I look at our second team that are playing at the moment at Northampton, and that there is, apart from Ali Orr, who's injured, there's nobody outside of our group of 13 that we've got here who can come into our team and make us a better team. So we've got a lot of very, very young players. We've got a big squad, but they're all very young, and we haven't got enough experience in our squad who can come into our team and change the way that we play. So we've got 13 players here. So we've got the 11 that have played. We've got Sean Hunt and Dan Ibrahim. Now Sean's 21, Dan's 18. So that you're talking about changes for the next game are 18 and 21-year-olds. They're not 28, 29, 30-year-olds with loads of experience who know how to win games, who are old professionals. So on one hand, we haven't got the cynical senior players in our team, but we also, equally, we haven't got the quality experience that you need to help you win tough situations that allow you to compete for longer in games to have a better chance of winning them.
Can I ask you about someone who's playing down at Peterborough? People have messaged me this week talking about George Gartley. He's played one championship game. He's played pretty much through the 100, so you guess his fitness is okay. Why is he not figuring at the moment for Sussex ball?
Because he hasn't bowled enough overs in the last month. While he's been away at the 100, he hasn't bowled enough overs. He hasn't got his overs to where they need to be. He's still got a groin injury, which he went away to the 100 with, which is stopping him playing for us during the T20. So he's actually played half a championship game and 7 T20s for us. And, that means that, there's one of your senior players who's played a lot of cricket that we can't get him on the field to play for Sussex, and that's very frustrating.
So it's a fitness issue?
Well, he's not fit to play, so he can't. He's only bowled 7 and 5 overs at Peterborough so far in the game, and the idea was he went there and bowled overs, but he's also got a groin hip injury which he needed to assess by playing, and so at this stage he's unlikely to figure in the next game as well at home against Leicester.
Jed the cat seemed to turn his ankle. What's he? That's the last thing you need when overseas comes in.
It's not ideal. I mean, he looks a quality bowler. He's a great. We knew he was a quality bowler, but I think he's looked very good in this game. And it always takes a little bit of time to settle in. It's tough when you're only here for 3 games. But he rolled his ankle. So we'll see how he is for Sunday. But it would be a bit of a blow. But if it is, then Sean Hunt's ready to come in and play. But as I said, Sean's 21, and that's what. The issue we have is that we just don't have the experience, and I'm not going to stop talking about winning and raising expectation to win and talking about setting high standards. But what we've now got to do to enable us to win, I think I'm much clearer in terms of what we need. We need experience. We need quality leadership on the field from experienced players, and we need to really educate our players at every given opportunity about what does the game need and how are you going to help your team in this situation. And so we've got a winter ahead of us where we're very clear on how we need to work with our players, and professional sport is about winning. It's not about development. We're not a development 11 team. We're a team that are competing in professional sport with people that are being played well, including me, to do a job. And at the moment, our season is in danger of dropping off the edge of a cliff a little bit because, we started well. We beat Durham in the first game. There was a lot of high expectation. We had a few games washed out in the Championship that we might have won, but we also had a couple of games against Yorkshire that we probably would have lost. And then our T20 was average at best, and our 50 overs was exceptionally poor. So, I would, if I was a Sussex supporter, I'd be looking saying, well, we're not really making any improvements, and if anything, we might be going a little bit backwards. And that's quite hard to argue against. So, I've said all along, I take full responsibility, and I know I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and a lot of work ahead of the whole staff. This isn't about one person, this is about everyone working hard together and really pulling together. But I can assure you there's a lot of work going on, and there's a lot of conversations taking place with the key people at the club as to what we need to do. And we're in a position where we've got a decision to make. Do we want to just jog along and do okay, or do we really want to be the best we can be? And if we want to be the best we can be, we need to bring in a few experienced players and help our younger players and back the ones that we're really backing. You can't back every young player, and we've got to back the ones that we really believe are the best ones, and we've got some very talented ones, but we need some experience around them.
That means some tough conversations, I guess, in the winter or the next few months.
Yeah, it will do, yeah. But if we want to do it properly and we want to be the best we can be, then we're going to have tough conversations. But if we just want to jog along and not be the best we can be, then let's jog along as we are.
So
and that's not acceptable.
Is that just slightly changing the ethos then, Paul? I mean, of saying, you've come in and you've realised that something fairly radical needs to happen here.
Yeah, and I think, you don't know what you don't know, do you? And at the start of the year, I was very optimistic, as I always am, and I'm still optimistic. I still think that this is a hugely challenging job, but one of the reasons that I wanted to do it in the first place was I genuinely believed it could be the most rewarding if and when we get it right. But it's, there's a lot of people who need to come together to give us the best chance, and I know that there are people at the club who really want to make sure that we are being the best we can be, and it's something that, as I say, we're having lots and lots of conversations with key people, and we all realise that we've got some seriously hard work to do, and we might have to make one or two tough decisions, and it might mean that one or two of our talented youngsters that they don't play in our team, because there's only so long you can go on playing young players and not getting better, and actually it's not doing them any favours either, because all you're doing is saying, oh yeah, we've got a lot of youngsters and it's okay because it's going to be all right in the end. Well, it's not, and it's not, except I'm not enjoying these performances. I'm not enjoying the way that we're playing, and it means that we've all got to roll our sleeves up and get stuck in and be very honest. Let's not dress it up and say, oh, it's the first time we've lost in, it's early September. But we haven't won either. And the game, sport's about winning. It's about competing and winning. And we were out this game pretty much at tea time on the first day, and we've limped to a defeat. And all right, the last couple of days we've shown a bit of fight and whatever, but that's not acceptable. It's not good enough.
Final question, Leicester coming up on Sunday. I mean, actually, strangely enough, it's kind of not all over in terms of promotion. I mean, the crazy thing is, if Sussex won 3 games, actually it could go up.
Absolutely right. And and that's the belief that we've got that belief. Until we've bowled the last ball of the season, my belief is that we are still trying to get ourselves in Division 1. And that you've got to compete. Every game that you turn up to, every day that you turn up to, you've got to believe that you can really compete and do really well that day. And that's where it's a fine line between being absolutely gun barrel honest with our players about where we're at, equally not knocking confidence and destroying confidence. You're still trying to build confidence in all of your players, and you're still trying to get people to believe in themselves and play in the right way, but equally they also need to know what it is they need to do. So it's all very well, you can be someone who points out when things are not going right. What you have to be able to do, me as a coach and everyone that worked with me, we've got to be able to provide solutions for these players, and we've got to provide an environment and solutions where people want to get better, can get better. And I think by and large most of our players do want to get better. By and large most of our players want to improve and want to put in a shift, and we'll find out over the next 3 weeks the ones that really are in for the long journey, and those that like the idea of it but aren't prepared to put the hard work into it.
Leicester have had a good season. They're into the one-day cup final. They're not out the promotion race either. I mean, they're going to be a tough challenge.
Oh, I think all 3 of the games that we've got left, Leicester, Derby, Gloucester, are all going to be tough teams. I mean, I think there's Durham are the outstanding side in this division without a shadow of a doubt. Yorkshire, obviously, that they've had points deducted. They've got a lot of very good players, and they will be a formidable side in Division 2 next year. But I think there's quite a few other teams who are very similar in terms of quality, experience, and we've got 3 of those teams that we could easily win the next 3 games. And I don't mean easily as in comfortably. I mean we could win the next 3. We could also lose the next 3. And the way that we've played in the last month, we're going to have to play a hell of a lot better and compete a hell of a lot better if we are going to win even one of those, let alone all 3 of them. And I really do not want our season to fizzle out and be a really poor ending, because we started well, but again, one of the things with a lot of young players is they're running out of energy. Maybe some players' fitness levels are not as good as they could be, and they've known that for some time, and now it's actually biting them in the backside.